One of the reasons we exist is I think in the 21st century, every organization needs a community of purpose behind it. Every organization needs a well-organized constituency. Gone are the days when you can just sort of ring up the New York Times or ring up your buddy who works at the White House and make social change. We think that movement building and new forms of mass participation and models that support that kind of mass participation are going to really help solve a lot of problems in the next 100 years. And so what we want to do at Purpose is be a kind of a mothership for movement building and put the best people in the world together, put them under one roof and have them be singularly focused on how you build movements and how you give people agency and a sense of power that leads to them having a major impact. To give you an example, we looked at the landscape and we said, you know what, there's a lot of money and a lot of energy going into getting LGBT people married in places like the US, but if you look at the global picture, there are tens of millions of LGBT people who are living in the shadows, in danger for their own lives, in countries where it's criminal to be gay, or you can even be put into jail for life, or even put to death for being gay, and there wasn't the same energy around that. So that's a great example of the purpose model in action. We saw that gap, we developed the intervention, we created a brand and a platform for people's energy, because we knew that energy was out there, we just had to kind of tap it. And now, All Out is the largest grassroots gay rights group working in the world today on these global issues. We have these relationships with some of the major funders in the world who do progressive work. And we're able to get our initiative started through that kind of major donor support. But we then are able to move beyond that to microfunding or crowdfunding. And ultimately, many of the initiatives that we start become self-sustaining using that model. Spending that money on effective movement building or advocacy can be some of the most effective philanthropy that you can do. It's often much more effective and much cheaper to solve that problem by changing policy or by changing behaviour, rather than by kind of having to fund a direct solution to the problem. My dream is that in 10 years people look at Purpose and they say, that's the place where some of the most important new models for social change emerged. The exciting thing is that today, I think it's much easier for people to be effective together, because I think the world that we live in today is that the people who've held the keys to power for so long are having to relinquish some of that power.